on Tuesday, March 15th. Roll call.
Fred Dom here.
Tushar Desai here.
Lou Yang present.
Carol Sapolsky present.
Paul Arbuckle present. And so we're just missing Alan then, huh? Approval of the agenda. Any corrections or additions?
No corrections from staff.
Okay, need a motion?
Move that we approve the agenda as provided to us.
There's been a motion by Fred, second by, was that Tushar or was that Lou?
Yes.
By Tushar. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hearing all ayes, passed. Approval of the minutes. Any corrections or additions to the minutes? Nobody seen any? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
There's been a motion by Cheryl, second
Lou, second.
by Lou. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Hearing three ayes and two abstentions.
Who abstained?
Tushar abstain.
And Fred abstain. I was out of town and not able to link in.
Got it.
We are at E, public hearing, home occupancy, license. I'm having a hard time reading here today. Hair Studio, 3027 Lake Street North. Staff?
All right. Good evening, Chair and Commission. Let me know if you can't see my PowerPoint here. I just pulled this up here. So tonight we'll be discussing the home occupation license application, which is made by Kelly Pavick of Exquisite Hair Studio. She would like to operate a hair salon on the property at 3027 Lake Street North. The property is just under, or it's 0.41 acres in size, a residential property, and requesting approval for that home occupation license in order to operate her business out of her home. The current controls of the property is low density residential, and the zoning designation is R1 single dwelling. The comprehensive plan guides the property for residential uses, and the zoning code allows for home occupations in certain instances, and this proposal meets the intent of the comprehensive plan and the zoning code requirements. So again, this would be a hair salon. She would have one chair, so it'd be a small salon operated in the lower level of the home. The applicant is making improvements to the space currently and hopes to open as soon as possible. The overall minimal there will be overall minimal traffic impact and neighborhood impact. She will be seeing one client at a time, so there would only be one vehicle or one person visiting the property at any time. Couple photos that were submitted. Here you can see on the left, the front of the home. There's a door there and a window that are circled. That is the entrance to the lower level of the home, and that will be the entrance to the hair salon. And then on the right side there, in progress, is my understanding. It doesn't look the same today, but when the photo was taken anyways, the lower level of where she would like to have this hair studio. So as far as staff review and public comment, the fire department did have some requirements. First being that garage door would be a steel door and have appropriate automatic closures. Smoke detectors and CO detectors would be in place, and that the stairway going upstairs would always be cleared to that doorway for emergency exit. And a required inspection, a business inspection, would need to be done by the fire department. In addition to that, home occupation licenses must be renewed with the city clerk on an annual basis. Public streets cannot be used for customer parking. And again, one customer visiting the business at any time. So those are the conditions that are added to the proposed resolution. Staff sent out notice to properties within 500 feet. And since the report that was sent out to you folks, we did receive 3 responses via email here. And so what I did is I just put them on a PowerPoint slide for you to review and for the record. So I'll just go through them here real quickly. If you'd like, I can read them, or if you can see the PowerPoint slide, I will let you read them yourself.
Good. I'm ready for the next one whenever anybody else is.
Yep, we're good.
Yep. And she will be parking in the driveway with all the vehicles too, right?
That's correct. Like I mentioned, we did add a condition on there that the vehicles cannot be parked on public streets. And then the last comment here.
Good.
So
What
with
is
that,
what is the annual renewal cost then for the license?
Chair and Commission, I do not have that specific sum. I believe it is $53 or around 50 something.
Okay.
So the home occupation license application is being reviewed by you this evening, and then it is tentatively scheduled to go to the council on April 11th. With that, staff is recommending approval of this license, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And I'm not sure if the applicant did join the call. I'm not seeing them, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Now, also, she has to have a barber's license too. Is that issued by the city of Maplewood too, or is that just issued by the hair board or however that is?
I do know that they have to obtain a license, correct? I believe it's issued by the state.
Okay.
I have no questions.
Neither do I. It's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the requester is not here, but we still have to open up the public hearing, I guess.
Correct. We all get free haircuts too, right? Is that the deal? If Cheryl, do you have anything, Lou?
No, I was just gonna also similar. I think it would be a great addition, and it was great to see such positive responses from the neighbors as well.
Right, that is great.
And
So
great to see the picture of the driveway, that it's clearly that we can fit the 2 vehicles in there, right?
Mhm.
true. So then I'll open that up to public. Then, if there's anybody that would like to chime in on that, then
I don't believe there's anybody else on the call.
okay. So then, if seeing none, and nobody's going to call in, give it another 3-4 seconds. Okay, we'll close the public hearing then. We'll like a motion on that.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve a home occupation license for Exquisite Hair Studio located at 3027 Lake Street North, subject to certain conditions of approval.
There's been a motion by R, second by
I'll second.
Cheryl. All those in favor?
Aye.
What?
I believe I hear all ayes. Hearing all ayes is passed. Now this is just our recommendation for the city council. This will go before them on April 11th. So
That is correct.
thank you. we are at number 2, conditional use permit resolution for PUD amendment Maplewood Assisted Living at 1744 County Road D East. Elizabeth?
All right, getting the other PowerPoint up here again. Let me know if for any reason you can't see this. All right, so Maplewood Assisted Living, MX Real Estate is proposing to construct a 17,233 square foot one-story building on the site and operate a 20-unit assisted living facility on the property located at 1744 County Road D East. The site is just over 2 acres and currently vacant property. The applicant is requesting approval for design review and a conditional use permit amendment, which would amend the PUD that governs the site previously approved. Current controls of the property, future land use is guided for commercial, and the zoning is a planned unit development. The comprehensive plan guides the property for commercial uses. The proposed use meets the intent of the comprehensive plan by combining a residential and commercial employment use. Staff feels that this will complement the existing mix of uses that are in existence in the neighborhood. So as I mentioned, this is part of a previously approved PUD, the Legacy Village PUD. You may recall, I don't know if this actually came to you guys, but there was a hotel that was previously approved in 2020.
It did, yes.
Okay. That project, however, did not move forward. You may be aware of that as well, obviously. And so the conditional use permit that governs the PUD does need to be amended to include the proposed project details. The building is situated towards the north end of the site near County Road D. The entrance and parking lot on the south side of the building facing the existing residential properties. And access to the site is provided on the east from Bittersweet Lane and from the west off Flandreau Street. The applicant's site plan illustrates a potential expansion of the facility, which would include 10 additional units in the future. This, however, would require the updated plans to be reviewed by the city at that time. And to clarify, it's not part of tonight's review. That would be a separate design review application and an amendment to the PUD, I guess, technically. So here you can see the site plan. I'll just go over some of these details here with you. The parking lot meets the required minimum of 15 feet from the adjacent right-of-way. The building is required to be 100 feet from the adjacent residential lot lines. The building setbacks are achieved with the exception on the east side of the building where the setback is shown to be 16.3 feet from the adjacent right-of-way. The applicant will be required to move the building to the west so that a minimum of 25 feet is provided between the building and the street right-of-way. The code requires 30 feet to the street right-of-way. However, we feel that 25 feet, it's in line with the existing setback from the street right-of-way that the building across the street, Ashley Furniture, has, and it's from that right-of-way. So we are requiring that an updated plan illustrating this setback be submitted for staff review prior to the issuance of a building permit.
Elizabeth, can I ask you a question? Is the 10 boulevard there was that 10 feet there? Does that include that, or is that to the street edge there?
So the setback requirement is from this building line, and it goes to the right of way, so to the street edge, to the curb, back a curb.
Okay.
So that is the measurement that we're looking at. In this situation, the property line is actually out in the street. And that's common throughout this PUD.
So this the dotted line is actually the edge of the curb then. The other line is the middle of the street.
Actually, what they're showing there is a 10-foot setback is what this dotted line is showing.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yes. So here's the floor plan layout. As you can see, they have dining facilities. There's a patio on the north end that was shown on the site plan, which is just right outside of the dining area. Kitchen facilities, small conference room, office space for employees, and then of course the units for the residents that would live here. The one-story building at its highest point is shown to be 24 feet in height. The exterior materials are identified on the elevations and shown as a combination of lap-board vinyl siding with some cultured stone veneer on the south elevation and on the bottom of the canopy. Building material samples will be required to be submitted to staff, and staff is recommending that the cultured stone veneer shown at the base of the building on the south elevation be extended to all sides of the building. So updated elevations will need to be submitted illustrating this to the north, east, and west elevations. Here is the landscaping plan. The landscaping plan identifies 9 deciduous trees to be planted on the south property line, 24 cranberry bush shrubs, and 31 spirea bushes to be planted around the patio on the north side of the building. There's also a monument sign that was identified on the elevation plans. I forgot to point that out as well. Staff does feel that there needs to be additional landscaping on this property, and so we're requiring that they submit an updated plan per the recommendations outlined in our environmental planner and natural resource coordinators memo, which was attached to your report. The ordinance does not contain specific parking standards for an assisted living facility or nursing home facility. The applicant is proposing 28 parking stalls, which includes 2 handicap stalls. The parking on site would be used by the employees of the facility and guests visiting the residents of the facility. And at the busiest times, it's been indicated in their narrative that they would have 9 staff members there, but generally that would be including, janitorial staff, front desk staff, nursing staff, and other staff members. So that wouldn't be all the time. The lighting plan achieves city standards. As far as staff review and public comment, our engineering staff and environmental staff included a report dated March 2nd attached to the report you received. As I mentioned, the applicant will be required to submit building material samples. We're also requiring that they install 2 stop signs at the driveway exits, install a sidewalk along the south, east, and west rights of way. Currently, there is a parking lot, the sidewalk on the north end of this property along County Road D, and we would like to see that continued to wrap around the site and match the existing other developments in that PUD. The applicant will be required to obtain a license for the facility from the Minnesota Department of Health. We surveyed the surrounding properties and sent the public hearing notice to folks within 500 feet. We did not receive any comments on this proposal. And with that, I'm going to go through a few things here, just discussing the design review, their meeting this evening just before ours here with you. And the design review board reviewed this application here, and they ultimately made a motion to table this project, the plans anyways. Their concerns had to do with the package that was submitted and wanting to see additional information specifically on the elevations, wanting to see the building materials, colored renderings provided, and not really impressed, I guess, with the building materials. They're requesting that the applicant consider something other than vinyl siding. And then they're also requesting that the applicant update the elevations to include that cultured stone veneer, not just around the base, but have some articulation, as particularly on the County Road D side of the site, so on the north side of the site. In addition to that, there was, comments regarding landscaping and wanting to see that updated landscaping plan as well before they felt comfortable recommending approval. And then finally, with the staff condition that the building be moved to the west 25 feet, they wanted to see that updated plan as well before they felt comfortable, with their stamp of approval on that. I think I'm summarizing most of it. There were a couple other items that they wanted to see, the unit size specifically shown on the plan. But overall, that I think summarizes it well as far as what they wanted to see come back to them. And so I think it was a good discussion. We'll work with the applicant on getting what the Community Design Review Board is requesting. And this is tentatively scheduled to go back to them for the design review portion of this project in April on the 19th. The other item as part of this project is the PUD amendment as far as the use of the site. And so that would be something that we can discuss further if you have any questions regarding that, or if there's any other things that you would like to see on the design review side of things. And with that, we're recommending approval of the PUD amendment, and we'll be, again, seeing this application back at the Design Review Board on April 19th.
Elizabeth, I've never actually seen the full PUD for the Legends there. Legacy, I mean, was it Legacy or
Legacy Village?
Legacy Village. Does this fit in for the best use for the land?
Let's go back to that. So that was something Mike and I talked about when they first approached the city as far as what made sense and does this proposed use really meet the intent of the comprehensive plan? When you go through our zoning ordinance, our commercial code does reference multifamily. And so we felt that given that this is a combination of residential units, and not your typical residential units, it is more of a business than a typical residential situation for some people, because in assisted living facilities, the folks that are living there aren't going to be having cars. It's a smaller unit size, a studio essentially. And so with the additional, staff members that will be there, so they'll be providing employment for the site, we felt that it was a good mix and kind of a low impact use for the neighborhood, really. Originally, there was a commercial use proposed. I didn't go into those details because the details in the report, I don't know if you read through that particular section where it talks about the setbacks that were approved with the previous retail project. But, at one point in time, there was that a strip center that was proposed there. And then obviously, most recently, this hotel. So again, in reviewing it, we felt that there was justification in the code and in the comprehensive plan to allow for this use.
Right. I definitely feel we don't need any more shopping areas because we're got that plenty enough at the mall up there yet. So, but I was just concerned that this fit into their vision for this area. And if you think so, then that's answers my question.
But when the Legacy Village comprehensive plan was developed almost 20 years ago now, one of the things that was put into play during that time was that there was a need for a hotel to be a part of this Legacy Village. And at that time, there was that hotel in the Maplewood Mall parking lot, which has already now become a senior citizen home. And now we are also talking about adding another one in this place, while the hotel opportunity backed out. But now we are again now going to be lacking in a hotel type of environment in here. And as we all know, all of Maplewood is pretty much getting filled in. So the potential for a additional hotel that I think is a benefit to the city is not going to come about here.
Well, we still have that plan for on the south end over there by the hospital where Birch Run is, in that area there. We have that figured for the hotel to be in that area.
Chair and Commission, I will just add the specific resolution for this site. It did not identify a hotel. Maybe the original PUD, I made mention of a hotel somewhere, but the PUD that was specific for this site strictly said commercial retail.
I'm talking about the overall Legacy Village
Right.
comprehensive plan that was put together about 20 years ago to develop that whole area that was open, including all the townhomes that went into play, changing the configurations of the streets, taking out some of the existing businesses as they go away and redevelop that area. That's the plan that was the master plan that was developed for this whole entire area.
Yeah.
And so that's when we were looking at saying, okay, how many restaurants would be of benefit? Would there be a hotel in this area and so on? And so that's where this all came about. But I also have a question. Design Review Board tabled it, and one of the comments that you passed was that they were looking at an elevation for this building. So is that like, are they talking about bringing a fill in to raise it or something to that effect? Or is this just changing elevation somewhere else?
Yeah, Chair and Commission, let me clarify that point. I apologize. So really what they're talking about is what's on the screen here, these elevation renderings looking at each side of the building. They wanted to see colored elevations with particularly they weren't impressed with the vinyl siding, I know, and then wanting to see, if you look here on this south facing side, there's some cultured stone veneer identified around the base of the building and up here around the canopy. Mm-hmm. They would like to see that wrapped around. Staff has added a condition that it be wrapped around the base. They would like to have some articulation so that it's not just a strip of cultured stone around the building. They would like to see that put specifically on this north side that faces County Road D. They would like to see some of that articulation here up by the windows.
When you mean articulation, you mean that it go up higher than just a straight line?
Right, and so that it's not just a flat wall, you know, it's going to come out a little ways from the building. So that's one thing, but then also having it go up higher so that it changes in height and adding some dimension to that wall. So it's not just a bare vinyl wall.
So I see there are ACs right underneath each one of the windows. So they'd have to kind of cover around the ACs with this stones or whatever it is that they're putting in there.
Yeah, that would be something they'll have to work out when they prepare the updated elevation renderings.
The cultured stone would just extend to the top of the window head.
Possibly. I mean, right now on the south side, they're showing it just to the south side of the window. And they are showing those AC units in there, right. I believe. Mm-hmm. They're kind of, yes. It's hard to see them, but so it looks like they would wrap around them and go to the base of the window.
That would be fun to do.
I guess they want to see it extend up a little higher along that north elevation.
Right. Yes, that's correct. And so to clarify, they're not asking that the building be up higher or that it be changed in that way.
Okay, so it would not impact our PUD request. That's what I was trying to get clarification on. That is that going to be where our PUD gets affected, or this is just all design portion of it that they want it to look pretty?
Yeah, cosmetic. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that's a correct assessment.
Yeah. No. I know that when they have in the future, they have an addition that they want to put on there. I know moving that over further to the west, it's approximately about 8'7", and that leaves approximately. There's not real accurate numbers, but that leaves about 35.3 from the property line there. That's still going to be sufficient in the future, right, for the variance for the land, you know, the setbacks.
Yeah, Chair and Commission, I will clarify that since this report went out, we have had a conversation with their architect, and they did work on their site plan to see how they could potentially add those 10 units still by moving the building over west. And they were able to, move that so that it extends a little farther north. So it's a little more narrow essentially. So it's not going as close to that west property line, still achieving the setback from the right of way as well as the residential lot line. However, to clarify again, that would have to come back to us. So we would review that at that time. That is not a part of this, a part of this approval that we are reviewing.
Right, that's just further, but I'm just seeing down the future here that if they do move that over, they're still going to have the clearance there with 35.3, right?
Right, where the building sits now, it will be moved over, and yes, they were able to do some calculations and see that they could still potentially do this if they decide they would like to.
Right. Now, also, the lady that had written on there that's in charge of the RN, she had mentioned something about there being a steel fence around the perimeter. Is that something that's going to be done later, or is that something that's in the drawings that wasn't included? Or
it was not included. That might be a question we can ask the applicant tonight. They are on the call. Their architects and engineer and building staff are on the call as well.
I can answer that.
Yeah, there hasn't been any plan provided to staff or drawings. So I'm not aware. It's referenced, but it wasn't as part of the package that was submitted.
Okay, he was going to answer that then.
Yeah, the final design had that fence removed, and then just at the patio on the north side, a small fence, a 4-foot high fence for the residents, and then behind that, extensive landscaping at the fence line, and that was it. But otherwise, at one time they were contemplating a fence that would run the distance along the north elevation or along the north property, but that's since been removed.
The occupancy will not be of people with a need to be contained within the nursing home.
No, it's not a memory care. And it's not a skilled assisted living, so they're ambulatory. They are residents that stay on the property. They live there. I don't believe many of them will have, if at all, access to cars. It's mostly people visiting and then the staff that works there.
So is this, I looked you guys up on the website, but maybe I didn't find the right one. Are you guys from DC over there, or are you local here, or where are you located?
You mean the owner?
Yes.
I believe if the owner's online, she can answer that. But if they're local, and I think they.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I had looked up the MK real estate one, and it was coming up in Washington D.C.
Oh, I don't believe so. I believe that she's from the area.
Okay.
But she is not the real estate company. So, Paul, the MX Real Estate is the business that's going to put this whole project together for the owner. Am I correct?
Chair and Commission, let me clarify. It looks like she is not on the call any longer. She was on the previous one. She is, as far as I understand, the MX Real Estate. That is her company.
Oh.
And she has an existing facility. I believe it's in St. Paul.
I'm not sure about that. I think this is a startup for her, but I could be wrong on that. But
okay.
Yeah, because the one that I looked up was in Washington D.C. MX Real Estate Management Group, but maybe was wrong.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not that I know.
Yeah, in the narrative, she does say there's a Twin Cities Nursing Care located on Hazel Street in St. Paul.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's just referring to a similar type of business.
Okay, we can provide some additional information for you regarding that, and I am with the building group. So the owner is local. The name of the company that has acquired the land, she owns this land now. It's not something she's going to acquire. She's closed on this piece of property. She owns the property, and the company that owns the property is MX Real Estate. She has multiple locations, and she is already in the assisted care business. So she's not a newbie. She's been doing this for a while. She knows what she's doing, and this is a site she'd like to acquire in Maplewood.
She has it.
Or site that she wants to build on in Maplewood. She already owns it. She's closed on it already. So
Now, the question I have, which is probably beyond my scope, but do they have the bed numbers to build the project?
yes,
Okay. So they've had some declassified beds that they're going to be able to acquire then. Is that, because I know that's going to be a problem with building nursing homes is they don't have that numbers.
Well, but I don't think it's a skilled nursing care facility. It's living, and there's a moratorium on skilled nursing care.
Okay.
Right.
So that doesn't apply to that then.
no,
To assisted living, I don't think it does.
Okay.
no, it does not. It's assisted.
Okay.
And with the demographics of the entire United States aging, I don't see that being a problem.
No.
Okay.
I hope that helped.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess I wish I had looked up the right firm, because when I looked up online, I had got the wrong thing to find more information, but that's fine. You seem to say that she's already had past experience, and so she's well versed in knowing what to do about this. It's not a new thing she's taken on.
Correct.
Did anybody else have any questions for the developer? Or?
No, it looks good to me.
Paul, you're gonna have to still open it up for public hearing.
Correct.
Right,
I just want to make sure everybody's got their questions answered.
sure.
Mhm.
I think I'm good.
Cheryl, Lou, John.
I'm good.
I move my screen over now. I see that you're there, John, before you weren't on my other screen.
That's because I started off in the February meeting instead of this one.
Oh, can you please catch up? And so you guys are going to go back with the architect then and come up with some new drawings then about the landscaping and the change of the design and that, right? Make those guys happy.
Right.
Yes, that is correct. So we'll be working with the applicant on getting those comments addressed from the design review board and getting those plans over to them again in April.
Okay. When do they anticipate starting the project?
It's a good question.
This spring.
I think as soon as possible.
This spring, is that what I heard in the echoes?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's open up to the public then. If there's anybody there that would like to speak on this project, would now be the time to chime in. Do you see anybody online there, Elizabeth? Or
I don't see anyone, so unless somebody's watching and calling in, I don't, we could probably wait a minute here, or a few seconds, but I don't believe anybody else is on the call or joining. It doesn't appear that way.
okay, I'll give it another 10 seconds. Seeing none, then I will close the public hearing. We need a motion then. Anybody else have any other questions? Then I think we're all good on that too, right?
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve a conditional use permit resolution for a PUD amendment for the construction of an assisted living facility to be located at 1744 County Road D East, subject to certain conditions of approval.
There's been a,
Second.
Boy, I'm having tongue tied today. By Lou, second by Deshar.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays? I think I heard all ayes. Hearing all ayes, this passed. This is just our recommendation for the city, and this will go before the city on April 11th, right, Elizabeth?
Yes, that's the tentative set date.
Okay.
Chair and Commission, I'll just interject with this needing to go to CDRB now in
Oh, that's
April,
right.
and the council review will likely not be until early May.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right, because that'd be till the 19th then, right? So,
Thanks,
so
Mike.
May. If I'd have thought about it longer, I might have caught that.
Yeah. So providing everything goes good on the 19th, then, yeah, that would be the first meeting in May.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for your time. Good luck on your building there.
Thanks.
It'd be nice if you guys would put a pool in, then I could come up there and swim. None of these buildings were putting pools in for me. I don't get it.
That can only be the site retention pond.
The what?
Site retention pond.
Oh, okay, yeah. You have to put a plug in it then so the water stays. Well, thank you, guys.
All right, thanks.
Okay, we are at new business. Any new business? Unfinished business, visitors presentations, commissioners presentations, staff presentations. I see that the land went up for sale there on Hazelwood and Conroe D again. Does the dentist office back out?
That's interesting. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Yeah,
Was
I
the
see.
sign down?
No, there was a new sign up there that said some kind of new realty company that was there.
Okay, well, I wonder, I mean, at one point we had a proposed development sign up there.
No, this is a real estate little,
Hmm.
2x2 real, like Sun Realty or something, or
I think that's Sunset. I think they're the ones that sold it to the dentist.
oh, you think that was the
I
original one?
think so.
Okay.
Not sure.
I didn't think there was a sign up that the city had up there, but maybe I was wrong. So, well, hopefully they don't back out. And I see the chicken place opened up this week, Kane's Chicken.
Yeah.
It opened?
Yes, on Tuesday.
Okay. Now they're having trouble getting staff in places like that.
Yeah, my son's got a job there now, so that's how I knew they were opening. Anybody have anything else?
Oh, it looks good to me.
Okay, well, that was short and sweet. Tuesday movie night then.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, are you gonna make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion. I made a motion.
Okay.
I made a
All
motion.
right.
I'll
We all
third it.
buy into it. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Sure.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.